Hello everyone and welcome to my 1k Q&A, and I'm sorry for this being so late. As of recording this video I am on 1,374 subscribers, which is a substantial way along to 1,500, and this video just got pushed back and back, but it is now happening. So we're going to start off with the first question. Vasco M92 asks, which is the first Formula 1 game you've played? The first Formula 1 game I played was Jeff Cramond's Grand Prix 4, but I did play Grand Prix 3 and Grand Prix 2 after I started playing Grand Prix 4, and that is a phenomenal game, and I may touch upon it at my channel at some point. Next question comes from Ryan Foley Racing, and he says, when did you first start watching F1 and what's your favourite F1 driver and team? I first started watching F1 in 2007 with the fresh face of Hamilton moving into McLaren, and of course the whole Michael Schumacher domination era had ended, and it started to pique my interest. Obviously the media went crazy with Hamilton because he's British, and the Daily Mail and Daily Express, had field days with him being a newbie who's doing really well and challenging for the title. In terms of my favourite F1 driver, it is not Hamilton, it is Nico Hülkenberg, who drives for Force India, who is also my favourite team, and I think Nico Hülkenberg is a sensational driver. I don't think he is championship worthy as such, but I think he is kind of on the same level as Heidfeld used to be, and Heidfeld is an extremely underrated driver and people shoot him down all the time, but I think Hülkenberg, I wouldn't say he's one for the future, but I'd say he is one of the best drivers on the grid. And in terms of Force India, I just really like the underdog mentality, and I've liked the team since, well, 2008. I've liked the team, which of course their inception, and my liking for them has just gone up and up and up, and today I'm a full fan. The BPG13-The Viper asks, how did you get into YouTube? Who are your favourite YouTubers in general, and what inspired you to do YouTube? In terms of how I got into YouTube, it was through Alex Zaffro. I started asking him how he records F1 videos, and I started looking at my own software. This, of course, for the Xbox 360, and of course I'm now on PC. But he was the one who got me into it. Who are your favourite YouTubers in general? I really like TMX Marduk's content, Arava's content, Xmatty G, Limitless. But in terms of bigger YouTubers, I like Mini Minter, Cal Frazee, Bazinga, the side men as they're called. And what inspired you to do YouTube? It was just watching all the videos, really. It wasn't really any kind of really want to do video editing or anything like that. I just really like watching, like for instance, Alex Zaffro's videos, and I thought that I'd have a crack at it. Now, Ben Rogers asks, do you follow any other sports, and if so, which team/people do you support in that sport? And congrats on 1,000 subs. So thanks for the congratulations. Do I follow any other sports? Yes, I do. I follow rugby, international rugby, and I'm starting to follow football more again. I used to be really into football in around 2007, 2006, 2005, but recently it went off, and then it's come back a bit again. But I am a Liverpool supporter, so I'm hoping they do well. Obviously they didn't have the best start of the season this season, but they had a great last season. That just piqued my interest in it. PS Luton Rules asks, your opinion on the Minardi F1 team. Now, they are obviously a massive underdog, so I have a pretty good opinion of them. I have massive respect for them for being in F1 for so many years and not looking like they were going to go up the grid at all. It wasn't like the 2010 teams, which Marussia said they'd be fighting for a championship within 4 years or something, which is just insane looking back at it. But Minardi F1 team, they ran independently for so long, and I have massive respect for them. Liam Chamberlain asks, what is your favourite F1 car livery ever? Well, that is a difficult question, I have to say. I really like the, obviously the MP44 with the red and white, that's very iconic. I also like the early Renaults with the yellow and white, I think it's 1982 with René Arnoux. That's a really nice livery. In terms of today, as a Force India fan, I'm going to be biased and say the Force India looks really nice. But I quite like the Saubers in the early 2000s as well. Now, Matt Black asks, as an F1 fan from Poland, I have to ask about it. So what do you think about Kubica and his career in F1? Now, obviously Kubica had the rally accident, which has done damage to his right wrist. I think it's the right wrist. And so it doesn't look like he's going to come back to F1. But his time in F1, he showed exceptional talent. I mean, he was racing with Heidfeld, and of course, as I said earlier in this video, I think Heidfeld's extremely underrated. So I believe that Kubica was a real talent, and he could have challenged for a championship. Arguably, at the end of 2008, if BMW had kept developing, I don't know the model of the car, but if they kept developing a 2008 car, then Kubica could have had a chance at getting the championship. But BMW decided to withdraw and focus on 2009. as we go on to the next question. Next question coming from Supercentric11 saying, how long does it take you to edit a video and what editor do you use? In terms of editing, it takes not that long, it only takes like 45 minutes, but it's the commentary which takes an absolute age, and that can take up to a couple of hours. And what editor I use, I have Power Director 11, and that's the one I use for all of my videos and pretty much since the start of YouTube. Next question comes from Poochiehead, and he says, Alex, is your name Jeff? No, my name is Jeff. Right, so the next question comes from Vasco Perez, who says, do you think Vettel can bring Ferrari to the top like Schumacher did? Now, of course, this is an interesting thing to ask, as obviously they're both German, they're both relatively young when they joined, so it's a really difficult question, but I believe F1 was in a different time. But I think Schumacher did a lot for Ferrari, and I think Vettel will do a lot for Ferrari as well. Obviously the first race has happened now, and this question was asked a long time ago, so I believe Ferrari are the only people that can rejuvenate themselves, so I think it's just going to be the entire team. I mean, if you look at Williams from what they were doing in 2010, 2011, 2012 was, I think, a weird season, and then you have 2013, they really reformed, and 2014 and this year they're going to do really well. Stonehenge asks, if you could join a team as a simulator driver, which team would you choose? Pretty easy, I think it would be Mercedes, as they will have the most developed simulator and it will be the closest to me driving a real F1 car. Question comes from Orjit Mishra, I'm sorry if I said your name horribly wrong there. Which favourite F1 team? Already answered that. And what do you think of the 2014 F1 cars? 2014, of course lots of them had very long schlongs on the front, but I think 2015 the cars are looking a lot better, a lot nicer. I think 2015 is a real step up. Now, Retro Playthrough asks, have you ever had any experience racing cars, and if so, how good are you? Yes, I have, but I mean not in terms of owning my own cars or anything like that, but I have been racing before, and I did really well actually. I've got a lap record around track in Braintree near where I live, so not to be arrogant or overly confident or anything, but I think I'm pretty good. Will you do this after 2002 career mode? Will you install the 2003 mod and do a career mode on that? From Jamie Griffiths, sorry. And I will look into it. I'm not sure whether to do 2003 or jump a bit forwards, or jump a bit back even, but we'll see how it goes. Of course, we need to complete these seasons first, and then we'll look at doing any modding. Next question, or two questions, comes from Matteo Pani, I guess that's how you say his name, and it says, what type of Formula 1 era do you like the most? Interesting, and I think it's probably the 60s. I have a real awe for those cars. Jim Clark, Graham Hill, John Surtees, they're all really good drivers. Jackie Stewart, who came in as well. I think that's my favourite era. And then in terms of, do you think current F1 games are better if co-masters put in actual work in recent games? I do think it is. I think they've been extremely lazy, and I think a different developer would have done things a lot better, but obviously we'll never see that. James Walker asks, what is your dream race or normal car? In terms of race car, that's also a very difficult question. I think it would be the Force India VGM 08. I think I'd really like to drive that. And then normal car, it would be a McLaren P1. I think that car is absolutely gorgeous, and it is one of the fastest cars in the world, so I'd really like that. Stephen Blackiston asks, do you think Force India will finally win one this season? And if so, at what track? Unfortunately, I don't think they're going to win, which, as much as I'd like them to, I don't think they are going to win. But if they do it at any track, unfortunately with the limited testing, I think it's going to be at one of the later ones, maybe with some rain thrown in, maybe even Brazil. Nico Hülkenberg, of course, leading the race back in 2012, and I really hoped he won that day, but he didn't. So I think it's going to be some kind of weather intervention, or big accident which takes out a load of people, which is going to mean that Force India are going to win. Now, Stacey Roystenberg asks, what do you study at university? I study history at university, and I have to say it's really good so far, and I'm really enjoying it. Now, F1 Maestro 26 asks, which F1 YouTuber do you look up to, or any YouTuber in general? I really like how T-Met Marduk makes his videos. They're very cinematic. I wish I could do that. Obviously, he's a great commentator as well, so he is my judging point for my videos. Now I've got a question from II Comment 13, who says, who do you think will win the Drive Champion this year before any car reveals or testing? Unfortunately, this is actually after the first race. That shows how late this video is. But I think it's going to be Hamilton, to be honest. I think it's Hamilton or Rosberg. Those are the only two challengers. But I do believe that Rosberg will have a bit more with him, especially in the earlier tracks than last year, so I don't think Hamilton will run away so easily, but I hope it's a great battle at least. Now another question for Basco M92 saying, which F1 tyres do you prefer the most? Bridgestone, Pirelli, Michelin, Goodyear? I'd have to say Bridgestones, because I liked how their degradation went, and in terms of speed I think they were really good as well. Now Beaver and Chipmunk asks, what shampoo do you use? And that would be Head and Shoulders. Sam Holloway asks, what is your favourite cheese? My favourite cheese, I really like mature cheeses, so I'd have to say it'd just be extra mature cheddar. Next question is from Peter Lee. Have you been watching Formula E, and what are your thoughts about the series? I have been watching Formula E, and I think it's fantastic racing. I really like the races that are in there. Obviously I'm a big fan of Nick Heidfeld and Jarno Trulli, so it's really good seeing those names back in a very top line running series, and yeah, I think it's a really good idea so far, and the racing has been spectacular. Now Orima Salga, if that's how you pronounce that, asks, which game would you like more, Codemasters F1 with Challenges AI or EA Challenge 2014? EA Challenge 2014 every way, because I mean you can't actually drive on the grass in F1 Challenge, while you can drive on the grass in F1 in Codemasters games really easily. But that has been it for my 1K Q&A. I really hope you enjoyed. If you have any more questions, put them down in the comments and I'll try and answer them. But that has been it for me, and I will see you next time.